Hello, second grade. Oh my goodness, these compare problems have been tricky, haven't they? Okay, well, we're going to get back into it today. Remember, we always have our vocabulary chart up here as we think about these ideas we're trying to solve. And we always want to be looking at our public records from the day before. We're going to, again, read our learning target, and we may be adding, well, we will be adding a little bit of tidbit to understand a little bit more about what we're doing today with our work. We're going to go ahead and read that, and then we're going to get started. Remember, we're going to go back and we're going to take a peek at what we learned yesterday. Let's go ahead and get rocking and rolling. I can solve compare problems using models, equations, and words. Remember, those compare, how are these numbers the same, right? And how are they different? Yesterday, we dove deeper into the bigger unknown, what we were trying to find out. Our unknown was the bigger number that we were trying to solve for. And so yesterday, I sent you all off to solve a problem on your own, and then we came back and we shared our work. And so I just want to remind you of that work yesterday. We were trying to say Shanika ran 12 fewer seconds than Fran, and she ran 15 seconds, and we're trying to find out how many seconds did Fran run, right? So Shanika ran 12 fewer than Fran, and Shanika ran 15. So here is Shanika's 15, right? That was 12 fewer than Fran. So to find Fran's, you all told me, well, we have to add because Fran's number is bigger. And so I said to you, what are we going to add? And you said, well, we have to add 12 more because the answer would have to be 12 more because that makes Shanika's 12 fewer. And we've talked about that before too, right? Those extras can be described as more, and they can also be described as fewer, depending on if you're talking about the longer number, or the longer stick of cubes, or the shorter stick of cubes. So when we solved this, we did it lots of different ways, but we put up on our chart that we had this number line where we have Shanika's at 15. And then we added those 12 more, a big jump of 10, and then 2 more to make 12 more. And we landed on 27. And so before we finished up, I said, okay, well, if they're 27, does that show that her 15 is 12 fewer? Well, let's take away, is it 12 fewer? Sorry, 27, take away 2, and then take away 10. This is a difference of 12, so you can take away 12, and that's 15, and that is 12 fewer. So as we change gears today, we can use a lot of what we did yesterday to help us think about our problems today. So we have 2 problems to do together, and then we have some problems to do on our own. But we will be adding to our learning target a little bit after we start solving our problems. So our first one, elbows on your knees, fingers on your shoulders, please, so you can really listen in and you're not trying to get busy and get started solving before we're ready. Michaela has 17 peanut butter cookies. That sounds good. She has 12 more than Bailey. How many cookies does Bailey have? Read that for me one more time. Michaela has 17 peanut butter cookies. She has 12 more than Bailey. How many cookies does Bailey have? Well, what do we know? Okay, Michaela has 17 peanut butter cookies. What else do we know? She has more than Bailey. Oh, I forgot to do something. Hold on. What do you notice about these 2 cubes towers? They are the same. Yes, absolutely. What if I did this? You guys are getting so good at this, but I love to have this visual for you all. What do you notice now? Yes, absolutely. This is fewer than this one. This is more. 4 fewer. There's some empty ones here. 4 more on this side. Okay. Anything else you notice? How do you know it's more? Longer, taller. Okay. So keep that in your mind as we're doing our work today. Michaela has 17, and you guys just said that she has 12 more than Bailey. So who has more cookies? Michaela has more. What are we trying to find out? How many cookies does Bailey have? We don't know how many Bailey has, do we? But we do know that Michaela has 17. And that her 17 is 12 more than Bailey's. So why don't you go ahead and solve for this unknown? What are we trying to find out? Go ahead. Remember, use those manipulatives if you need to, okay? I just want you to make sure you draw that in your journal after you've used those tools. I'd like to see what it looks like. Where are Michaela's cookies in your model? Then how do you know how many Bailey has? It says 12 more. Why'd you take away? Who has fewer? So what? How many does she have altogether? How many does Bailey have then? I'm gonna come back to you. Where are Michaela's cookies in your model? Where's Bailey's cookies? Where is the difference in your model between those two numbers? Where is that difference in the story? Oh. All right, friends, let's go ahead and come together, having some really great conversations as we're solving this. Okay, so we know, tell me what you were doing. I hear you say, Michaela has 17 cookies. Okay. And I noticed in your work you had a 10 and 7 ones, right, for 17. Then what did you do? Okay, so those are Michaela's. Then what did you do? Why did you take 12 away? Because she had 12, so you know Bailey's number would be smaller. Okay, so then where are Bailey's cookies in here? So you knew from this story that Bailey would have fewer cookies because Michaela has more, so Bailey would have fewer. What was the difference? The difference is the 12. So here's Michaela's, here's the difference, and there's Bailey's. Michaela, Bailey. Interesting. Okay. How did you solve it? Okay. Ooh. Is that trusty handy dandy number line? $17. It was 12 more. Okay. So you took away 2, 10, 11, 12. So when you took away 10, what did you land on? 7, 6. Okay. And that's your difference of 12. So if Bailey has 5 and Michaela has 17, does Michaela have 17 more? She does, because there are 12 more, not 17 more. 12 more. Because if you started at 5 and you jumped up 10, you would land on 17. Okay. You still subtracted though, correct? I have one friend who did an addition sentence, who added. So you knew, where'd you start? Started at 12. Okay. And you knew you had to get to 17. 11, 12, 13, 14. Oh, Lord. Ms. Baker didn't make enough jumps. Let's try that again. You started at 12 and you were jumping up to 17. Okay, so 11, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17. 13, 14, 15, 16, 17. I did do the right way the first time, silly Miss Baker. Okay, so where's your unknown in that work? It's the 5. So you knew 17, you're trying to get to 17. You wrote that in a kind of a different way. So you started at 12 because you knew that, and you knew you could add on to find that unknown. Sometimes it's tricky to add, sometimes it's tricky to subtract, and so we add to make it easier. In this case, not many friends added. How is that helpful? Okay, you knew that would be a fat family. That's smart thinking. So you knew your total was going to be 7. You knew that the largest number was going to be 17. And so it was easier for you to start at 12 and jump up to get to 17 than it was for you to subtract. Does that help us solve for the unknown? It does. Do we see where Michaela's work is, or where Michaela's peanut butter cookies are in each of these pieces of work? We do. Do we see where the 12 more is? Here's those 12. Here's that 12, that difference of 12. And here's that 12. Do we see where Bailey's cookies are? The 5 when we take them away. There's that 5. And the 5 here is in the addition. Okay? I see the difference a little bit easier on these and these, but it's definitely there. Okay, so let's take a minute and think. Is our bigger unknown, our number that was unknown, is it the bigger number in these problems? No, it's the smaller unknown. That's a tricky one, isn't it? It's a smaller number that is unknown that we're trying to figure out. Let's take a peek at launch number 2 and see how we might be able to use these to help us solve the second one. Salem has 22 bracelets. Savannah has 14 fewer bracelets than Savannah. How many bracelets does Savannah have? Salem has 22 bracelets. Savannah has 14 fewer bracelets than Savannah. How many bracelets does Savannah have? Go ahead and show your thinking. And pause if you're at home, if you need some extra time to think about this. All right, let's go ahead and think about this work. Let's go ahead and draw it out. I think that's a great idea. I love that strategy that you've got going on over there. 1, 2, 3. What am I drawing first? The 22 that Salem has, okay? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22. Got a long stick of cubes there, friends, don't we? Okay, so there's Salem's. Because you guys said she has 22 bracelets. What are we going to do now? Okay, so we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14. Why do we count back 14? Because Savannah has 14 fewer. So here's that fewer, right? There's that empty. Yes. So now, how many does Savannah have? How many does she have that's the same? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Does everybody see that? What equation would you write to match that? Why does that equation match that work? Had 22. Took away or kind of blocked out that 14 fewer and saw that there were 8 left. Is the smaller the unknown? It is. Huh. So what would we do to add that then? Because I love that our friend was thinking about adding. What could that look like if we were going to be adding? It's a way of thinking about our work. Where would you start? That 14, that's the extra or the fewer. And jump to 22, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22. Make my number line a little bit longer. Are either the 14 or the 22 are unknowns? No, that unknown is right here. And how many jumps did we make? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. We made 8 jumps. So that's the 8 that is the same. Okay, it's like saying, here's the 22, 22 all the way down, right? Here's the part that's the extra. This is the part that's the same. So your equation would be what? 14. So what was the unknown that you were trying to find? Right. The unknown is that part that we don't know. It's the same in both of them, isn't it? And it's the smaller number. That unknown is the smaller that we're trying to solve. So second graders, you've got a challenge ahead of you. I've got another sheet for you to think about that's giving you practice solving for these smaller unknown when we're comparing. Remember, we can add and subtract, but remember what you're looking for. So we don't need to know the names of these types of problems, but knowing them makes them a little bit easier to solve it. If we think, is my unknown going to be bigger or smaller than this number that we know? Okay, and use that to help you solve it. What was your observation, my friend? That every time we're solving our work, our numbers from the story are coming out in our picture. They are. Our numbers in our story are always coming out in our equations too. So we can use the numbers we know to find the one that we don't. Good luck solving these compare problems. You guys are rock stars. Remember, the difference is what's the same, but what is different. Different and difference are very similar words, and we can subtract to find the difference. Okay, which one is more and how many more, or which one is fewer and how many fewer. And remember, that unknown is the part that we don't know, and we always want to put a box around it. Happy solving. I can't wait to check in with you and see how you're doing.